Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the, what are we, May 19th Select Board Meeting, 7 o'clock. And we're gonna get right to it because we have a kind of a full agenda, right? So let's talk about announcements. Anybody anybody have anything? I got a little thing on the school. Craig, you have anything on the school? You went on that, right?
I was on the call. No.
Okay,
Well, on the
go.
agenda, we have Millis Cultural Council's Annual Art Festival on June 14th at the library, and that's from 12 to 3. There'll be all sorts of things, gallery of local art. You can create chalk art, face painting, crafts, dance lessons, and more. So that's at the library on June 14th.
That it?
Oh,
Yes.
Madam Chair, I had one quick thing.
Go.
I just wanted to mention that the Housing Authority had a little dedication party because the Tri-County students built a gazebo. It's actually beautiful. They built it at no cost for the Housing Authority. If you get a chance, go over and take a look at it. It's really beautiful. And so again, thank you to the Tri-County students, and that's all.
Awesome. Yeah, I heard that was great. I have a little update on the school. So every select board meeting, we have a placeholder for any news on what's going on with the school, reno. And they had a school building committee last, was it Wednesday night? Whenever, 2 Wednesday nights ago. And they're in the middle of the schematic design phase, which is an interesting piece of the project. They're making some decisions, options on the systems that they're gonna put into the building. So that's the mechanicals, electrical and the plumbing and HVAC, fire protection, etc. Interesting that, you know, the future is electric, right? Massachusetts wants us to be all electric at some point, and they are very much considering it, but it's really not viable for a building this size yet, but it will be viable at some time. So they're probably gonna be starting with gas, but they're gonna make whatever things they need to do now to prepare for electric in the future. So there's a lot of deliberation going into these meetings, which take place almost every 2 weeks between the architect, the engineers, and the school building committee. And it's an open meeting. It's posted on the website, the Millis website. You're glad to zoom in and participate. Anyway, that's the news on that. Any other announcements? Karen, anything?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, so the next piece of this is we're reorganizing the board. And it was interesting because I don't get a lot of activity on my social media, but somebody asked, what does that mean? What does it mean? It means that whenever a new term happens, so whether or not you know it or not, voted for me, didn't vote, it's fine. I like all of you. I was reelected at the last election last Monday. Each of us serves a 3-year term. So every year, somebody's up for election. I was up this year. We do it, it's a historical thing. It's not written anywhere, right? It's just historically. We rotate positions. We each have a position. The low man on the woman on the totem pole is the clerk. That's your first year when you get in, because you don't know anything. And you shouldn't open your mouth. And I, even with this mouth, I don't think I opened my mouth a lot the first year. And then the second year, you. All right, maybe a little. And then the second year, you go to vice chair. And then the third year, you get to be chair. And chair has more power than the rest. And then when you get reelected again, you go right back down to the bottom. So that's what we do. So I will go back down to clerk. And Erin, who's in her last year of her 3-year term, bumps back up to chair because you've been chair already. So you're gonna be awesome this time.
No, don't build me up.
Totally, totally, she has nailed it. So we are going to vote right now to do that.
Okay, I'll make a motion. I move that the board appoint Aaron Underhill as chair of the select board.
And my job is to second it. So I second that. Who says all in favor?
Well, we're in transition right now.
So it's been moved and seconded
Yeah,
to make me
thank you.
chair. All those in favor?
Aye, resoundingly.
Now from here on in, it's smooth. We have a chair. Okay.
Right,
I move that the board appoint Craig Schultz as vice chair of the select board.
Second.
it's, okay,
It's been moved and seconded.
That was your bit. Second.
my second.
To make Craig vice chair of the select board. All those in favor?
Aye, unanimous.
I move that we appoint Ellen Rosenfeld as, this is wrong,
Uh-oh,
clerk of the
Karen.
select board.
Oh, I put you as chair again.
Yes, we almost gave her a second term as chair.
I was so good at it.
Yes,
Um,
clerk of the select board.
That's correct.
Second,
It's been moved and seconded to appoint Ellen Rosenfeld as clerk of the select board. All those in favor?
aye,
You can keep your chair.
I have a bad chair. I thought we fixed all these chairs, Mike.
Yeah.
We're in the process.
So when I start, not only is my status gone from chair to clerk, I will slowly diminish until you'll see my nose up over the lip here because my gas in my chair is escaping.
Okay.
Good.
All right. So we are reorganized. So the next thing we have on our agenda tonight is the Memorial Day proclamation, which is traditionally read by the board clerk, which is Ellen. Before we read that though, I just wanted to let everybody know that Monday, May 26th is Memorial Day. And there will be a parade. It's a small parade, modest parade, but we are parading from the police station up to the town hall. And there'll be a ceremony in front of the town hall at 10:15. And then after that, there'll be a ceremony at the cemetery for 11:30. So people are more than welcome to attend that. There's also a veterans breakfast at the American Legion Post 208 at 8 a.m. before the parade and everything happens.
Perfect.
Ellen, have at it.
You ready? Proclamation. Whereas Memorial Day, originally called Decoration Day, is a day of remembrance for those who have died in service to the United States of America. Over 24 cities and towns claim to be the birthplace of Memorial Day. While Waterloo, New York was officially declared the birthplace of Memorial Day by President Lyndon Johnson in May 1966, it's difficult to prove conclusively the origins of the day. Whereas, regardless of the exact date or location of its origins, one thing is clear. Memorial Day was born out of the Civil War and a desire to honor our dead. It was officially proclaimed on May 5th, 1868 by General John Logan, National Commander of the Grand Army of the Republic, in his General Order Number 11. The 30th of May, 1868 is designated for the purpose of strewing with flowers or otherwise decorating the graves of comrades who died in defense of their country during the late rebellion, and whose bodies now lie in almost every city, village, and hamlet churchyard in the land, he proclaimed. The date of Decoration Day, as he called it, was chosen because it wasn't the anniversary of any particular battle. Now therefore, be it resolved that the Millis Select Board do hereby proclaim Monday, the 26th day of May, 2025, as Memorial Day in the town of Millis, and urge all citizens of this community to join us in support of Memorial Day.
I move that the board approve and sign the 2025 Memorial Day proclamation as written.
Second,
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Okay, the next thing we have on our agenda is recognition of Jackson Berry's Eagle Scout rank. Very exciting. Come on up.
Come on out.
Welcome. Yep, come right on up. Yep, thank you. Perfect. So Jackson has reached the highest honor in Boy Scouts of America, and he is now an Eagle Scout. You know, there's a lot of work that goes into this over the years through merit badge programs and developing confidence in the outdoors, leadership. And as part of him becoming an Eagle Scout, he had to do a project. And the project involved clearing a trail and the construction of an information kiosk at Richardson's Pond. My family and I actually went to Richardson's Pond recently, and I noticed that the trail looks fabulous, and there's all these walkways that have been implemented, so you don't have to walk in the mud, and it's beautiful. So excellent work. And we wanted to honor you at this meeting for reaching this highest level, and we're all very proud of you. Is there anything that you wanted to say?
I just wanted to say, thank you to the DPW and the Conservation Commission for helping me throughout my project.
Fantastic, and that was a great project to choose.
Yeah, it was a very good project.
And on behalf of the select board, we just wanted to give you a little something to commemorate this,
This awesome day.
achievement.
Achievement.
Thank you.
To commemorate this.
Thank you.
Great.
Take a quick photo of you with the select board.
You guys want
If you want us to like really put you on the spot even more. That's what you do. But no, this is amazing.
It is. Big honor.
Yeah.
I'm very tall. He is tall. You guys stand up straight. All right, nice work. Thank you. Amazing. Thank you.
Okay,
Give you guys a little bit of credit too.
little bit,
Just a little.
John, little bit.
Thank you. Well done.
Is there an update on the building, the capital committee stuff today too? No. Okay, when I see you in the room, that's where I go immediately.
Here for pleasure, not business.
Okay.
Okay, the next thing we have on our agenda is presentation of the Lansing Mills Award.
Okay. Here we go. The Lansing Millis Legacy Award is presented each May to acknowledge and celebrate the volunteer contributions of our senior citizens. This year's recipients are Chris and Jim McCaffrey. We want to come up so we can see you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To follow.
Yes, be very careful.
Take a seat?
You can have a seat or you.
Yes,
She has about a 3-page speech, by the way.
I do not. Stop it. Okay. Chris served 26 years as an election warden. Elections are the primary means by which citizens influence the course of government, and Chris ensured that Millis's elections were well organized, practiced, and meticulous. A wonderful testament to our democratic process. Additionally, Chris served 6 years on the board of the Council on Aging and filled the role of vice chair. Part of her tenure, including guiding senior services through COVID, which is no small task, and working tirelessly to inform the town of the needs of our senior population. Chris was always the first to take on new tasks and lead new efforts. There was never any quit in Chris. Jim served 12 years as a select board member and 12 years as our town moderator. In both positions, he has always acted as a reasoned, seasoned leader. One of his 4 terms happened during COVID, and he guided Millis remotely through this most uncertain time in our history. Whether as moderator or select board member, he handles himself with the same aplomb that each job commands. Currently, Jim serves on the Permanent Building Committee, the Capital Planning Committee, and the School Building Committee. Prior, he served on the Master Plan Implementation Committee, Cable TV Advisory Committee, Charter Review Committee, not to mention acting as representative to the Metropolitan Area Council and as designee to the Norfolk County Advisory Board. There's too much. His contributions are both sizable and inspirational. Both Chris and Jim worked tirelessly and seemingly effortlessly to ensure whatever task they put their collective minds to was accomplished. Their primary consideration always the town of Millis. They didn't just do the job, they seized the opportunity with a sense of dedication, a sense of civic responsibility, and a sense of humor. Along the way, they were each other's biggest cheerleaders, which makes this joint award all the more poignant. On a personal note, when I decided to run for this board, one of the first people I contacted was Jim. And after he asked me if I was out of my mind, he has become such a guide along the way, because I was a mess at the beginning. I was getting information from too many people, good information, bad information. I didn't know how to synthesize it. And he was always there and very calming and really, really talked me off the ledge on more than one occasion. The good news is I was reelected, Jim. The bad news is, don't change your phone number. After a lifetime of giving back to Millis, our very grateful town is honored to present you both with the 2025 Lansing Millis Legacy Award. I'm still after that. What's the motion? Who makes the motion?
I make the motion.
Okay.
Well, we have to make it official. Hang on just a moment. She's jumped the gun.
I always jump.
I move that the board present the 2025 Lansing Millis Award to Jim and Chris McCaffrey to acknowledge their exemplary volunteer services to the town. There.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Resound.
Now it's official.
Now it's official.
Or you can use it.
You can use the mic right there.
Use this mic?
Sure,
Take it first.
Okay.
yes.
We talked about
We
this.
discussed this.
Yes, I was trying to speak first, because I figured
She
if
told me you were gonna speak first.
he would say everything I was going to say. We moved to Millis in 1978, and we had one child who is now 50, and Millis became our home. When I was a child, I moved all over the place. And when we moved to Millis, I knew that this was where I needed to be. And we've lived here a long time. Can't remember how many years that is, but
It's a lot.
48.
But-
And during that time, I was a stay-at-home mom, but not a stay-at-home mom. I volunteered in the school system whenever I could, head of library volunteers, PTA, all of that stuff, working in the high school library, the Clyde Brown Library. And then my children grew up and were no longer in the school system. And I said, wow, what am I going to do now? So that's when I took on other duties as the election, and absolutely love working on the elections. Worked through many challenges with COVID, trying to figure out what we were going to do to get people in to vote. But one of my favorite jobs I had was being on the Council on Aging. I really wanted to help the seniors here in town, and it meant an awful lot to me, mainly because I am now a senior. And I would like to help seniors be as happy as I am being here in town. So Jim, you're up.
You used all our time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I want to thank everyone for this recognition. Council on Aging, the Select Board, everyone is here tonight, really appreciate it. Let's just say when we started out doing this a long time ago, this was not where we thought we'd end up, so. The motto I always live by is, I want the respect of people I respect. So to have this come back from the people I respect is a great honor for me. Thank you very much.
I'm gonna, we're arguing over who's gonna steal what you just said at the end there. I'm taking it. Right now.
You're not finished.
Real quick anecdotes. There's only two people in this room tonight who have served this town as a member of the select board and as the town moderator. Isn't it been great, Erin? And when I started doing this in the eighties and serving on committees, I was very fortunate to have worked with Helen's mother, Indy, and I want to remember her tonight because her example was very important to me and something that I will remember, and I think everyone who knew Indy does remember as well. So thank you, Indy.
Thank you. Well, you're welcome to stay.
You're welcome to stay if you want to. Oh, the award, the award.
One thing I was supposed to do. So this, first of all, this lovely plaque was made and that your predecessors are on it. You're on it, and it's gonna be hung somewhere
In the senior center.
in the senior center,
Oh, nice.
somewhere beautiful.
And both Bert and Rich, the previous
They're here.
parents, are both here.
Yeah.
So.
And this goes on your fireplace mantle. You don't have one built on.
Oh.
It deserves a mantle.
It doesn't deserve, I'll have to move the
Thank you
element.
very much.
Let's come over here. Let's say where.
No,
It is.
Stand here.
Sure.
Okay. Now stand around. Okay, so.
No, the
Those guys. All
Yeah.
right, Ellen, Erin, get closer to this. Everyone say,
Okay.
aye.
Aye.
There's a few more. Go. Yeah, she was on the committee.
One end.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Okay,
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And then. I will serve the lunch.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that.
Well, that very much.
I love 20 years later.
Yeah.
I was asking if he.
He did 3 in a row.
I know.
He did 1 year, yeah. Well, he did 1. Maybe Charlie Becky, he was either, Charlie Becky was,
Beginning, some of them.
yeah, Charlie Becky was like a 3-year, I think he was 3 terms, but I don't know if he was 4.
So well.
Yeah, yeah. We still see them. That was great. And when he was on the select board, he would, when he was the moderator, I was on the FinCom and he would have never put up with what, we do LL.
Oh, no. Oh, come on.
You broke it, Ella.
You know. Okay.
Where do we go from here?
We go to something.
We go home.
I don't think anybody should leave. We're gonna go to bond, anticipation note. Yes.
Say checks it out.
I don't mind letting them have a moment.
This meeting's over.
That's what I said.
There's a bond anticipation note.
Did I improve it?
Yeah, this is, no,
Was it okay?
We're right on time.
This word, I have to bleep over it. Town building reuse. That's a real thing?
Jen, how you gonna top that?
I thought it was supposed to be rescue. I know that. Reuse building.
Yeah.
Open them, right?
Yes.
Sorry to cut into your time here.
No, you're really excited.
You're the reason I'm here. The other thing in my finance committee this morning, my finance committee at work was asking me to forecast the debt for the next 20 years. And what do I anticipate for interest rates? I said, if I knew that, I would not be here. If I could nail that, I would be working, you'd be working for me at the bank. Okay, we should probably. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna have to take the room back for some more business. The next thing we have on our agenda is the ban renewal for the Middle High feasibility study and the PFAS well-free project.
Hello, Jennifer Scannell, treasurer collector. I am here, as Erin just said, for the ban renewal. The amount of the issue is $1,062,485, and it is a one-year note with an interest rate of 4%. It is for the middle high school feasibility study, as well as the PFAS plant well 3 to pay capital expenditures related to that project. We did receive a premium of $7,596.
I'm not.
That has been excited about that premium. Way to go with the premium, Jen.
So I'm asking the board, as usual, to sign the documents that Erin has for you tonight. And I did write a suggested motion.
Oh.
As usual.
Yes, I'm not gonna read the one that Karen wrote. I'm gonna read
But
yours.
That's the same thing.
Small one at
Okay.
the bottom.
Same.
Should be the same.
Otherwise, the regular motion is a page long.
Not,
I move that the board adopt the vote as prepared by Troutman Pepper Lock Bond Council to the town in connection with the sale of the town's May 2025 bond anticipation notes. Okay.
Second?
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
And you get to sign it, Ellen, as the clerk.
Who do?
There's your first official
So
act.
I have several documents for you to sign during the executive session.
Okay.
All right, we'll let everybody file in.
Oh, so we're just turning the room over. That's the actual motion.
That we don't need.
We don't, well, we agreed to vote that motion.
Lots of fun at this meeting.
Right, you're up.
We save the fun for post-town meeting.
Should do more of these meetings.
I
So we
know.
have a number of appointments tonight, and we're going to start with our fire chief, Chief Barrett.
Very tough to follow, Jim.
Yeah.
Catherine.
You think?
We'll do our best. And, Ellen, I'm gonna go for that line as well. That's a great line. So good. So we're here tonight to do, an appointment of a full-time firefighter and the promotion of a lieutenant. These are both replacement positions. About a year ago, Lieutenant Mike Scotland retired from the department. Over the last year, Brian Palomino has been filling his position as an acting lieutenant. He's done an exemplary job. We did a promotion process and, Brian excelled at it. He was our, by far our best candidate. And, tonight, I'm here to recommend, Brian Palomino to be promoted to lieutenant for the Mills Fire Department.
Madam Chair, I am requesting that the board ratify my appointment of Brian Palomino as a full-time fire lieutenant in the Millis Fire Department.
All right, I need to make a motion for that. They're not in the right order. I move that the board ratify the town administrator's appointment of Brian Palmetto as full-time fire lieutenant.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Passes unanimously.
If it's okay with the chair, we would like to have him sworn in really quick by the town clerk, and we'd also pin his badge on him.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It's sharp letters. Okay, you're gonna raise your right hand. Repeat after me, so state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support
That I will support
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States.
the laws of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts,
Of Massachusetts.
and all local ordinances,
And all local ordinances.
and that I will faithfully and impartially
And I will faithfully and impartially
perform the duties required
perform the duties required
as a lieutenant
as a lieutenant
of the Millis Fire Department
of the Millis Fire
to
Department
the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Yay.
Congratulations, sir.
Next, we have an appointment of a replacement of a full-time firefighter paramedic. Again, about 2 years ago, Alan Wallace, one of our full-time firefighter paramedics, was injured on duty. He has been trying to come back. Recently, it was found that he is unable to return and will retire on injury. During that time, again, we were able to hire Ryan Deasy as a temporary firefighter. During that time, Ryan went to paramedic school, got his paramedic, and met all the requirements to be hired. And he is our recommendation tonight for the appointment as a full-time firefighter paramedic.
Madam Chair, I am requesting that the board ratify my appointment of Ryan Deasy as a full-time firefighter paramedic for the Millis Fire Department.
I move that the board ratify the town administrator's appointment of Ryan DC as a full-time firefighter paramedic.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
Passes unanimously.
Again, with the board's permission.
Yes.
please.
Of course. You're gonna raise your right hand. State your name. Okay. Do solemnly swear that I will support
That I will support
the Constitution
the Constitution
of the United States
United States
and the laws
and the laws
of the Commonwealth
of
of Massachusetts
Massachusetts.
and all the local
All local
ordinances,
ordinances.
and that I will faithfully
That I will faithfully
and impartially
and impartially
perform the duties required
duties required
as a member of the Millis Fire Department
as a member of the fire department.
to the best of my ability. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll stay for the UTV.
Yes.
Okay, next we have a appointment of a deputy electrical inspector.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Due to the recent elevation of our deputy electrical inspector to our chief electrical inspector, we had a vacancy and, I am, after a review, we've, come forward with a person we think is best fit for the job. And this evening, I am recommending that the board, ratify my appointment of Greg Kellum to the position of deputy electrical inspector.
I move that the board ratify the town administrator's appointment of Greg Kellum as deputy electrical inspector pending a successful query and physical.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
And Mr. Cullen is not here tonight. He had something for his daughter to attend, so,
Okay. Well, congratulations
I think he
to.
made the right choice.
yes.
Okay, next up, we have summer and seasonal DPW workers.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In your packet is a memo from Jim McKay, the Director of Public Works, requesting that the following individuals be appointed for seasonal summer help from period of June 15th to September 30th. The positions have proven in the past to be very successful with helping to maintain all the ball fields, roadsides, municipal buildings, and properties across the town. All the candidates will complete all pre-employment regulations before their start of work. All the summer help is paid out of the general fund. So at this time, upon the recommendation of Director McKay, I am requesting that the board ratify my appointment of Joseph Bersano, Jaden Montero, Peter Alachi, Braden Ryan, and Tyler Shepherd as summer helpers with the DPW department.
I move that the board ratify the town administrator's appointment of Joseph Bersano, thank you. Jaden Montero, Peter Aleche, Braden Ryan, and Tyler Shepherd as DPW seasonal summer workers.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Making great headway.
Last, we have an economic development member.
We're wondering why you were here.
They don't want you.
Did you con into this, Nicole? Oh, sorry, right here.
It's a great committee. I almost always attend.
Good afternoon, Nicole Riley, Chair of the Economic Development Committee. As you are aware, a few months ago, one of our members resigned, was moving out of town. We had put out a notification asking for a volunteer to join our committee. And I would like to introduce you to Shannon Haas. She came and met with our committee and we voted unanimously to recommend her appointment by the select board to our committee. And I want to give you a moment for her to introduce herself, me to get to know her. She is going to be a huge asset to our committee.
Hi, my name is Shannon Haas. I just recently moved here with my fiance and my stepdaughter to Bullard Lane. We have fallen in love with this town so much, and I have a background in government with my bachelor's, and I'm pursuing another governmental master's degree. And I couldn't feel that this committee was more fit for the priorities of Millis, and I really look forward to serving.
So we are going to get her in slowly and then eventually we're gonna be pushing her to join your group.
And then after however many years, we'll give you the Lansing Millis Award.
Yes, this is, she doesn't know yet, but this is her first baby steps and we're gonna be dragging her in.
All over the
All
place.
Very much looking forward to it.
And to start volunteering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I move that the board appoint Shannon Haas. Yeah, as a member of the Economic Development Committee.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Welcome.
Welcome.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Yes.
Okay, so now we are at open session items. We have the approval of the contract for the fire ATV.
Madam Chair, the fire chief is here this evening. In your packet are materials from the fire chief, which includes a purchase order for a new vehicle, as well as background information on the quote. And Chief, I'll let you take it from there.
Great, thanks so much. So at town meeting, part of the capital replacement plan was a fire UTV. And we had got quotes so that we could have it in our budget package. The quote was still good. So we were able to use that to create a purchase order. The reason we're looking for approval now is that we can start building it. As you know, it takes some time for these things to be built. It won't be ready until after July 1st when the funds become available. But this gives us a little jump start to make sure that it's built and we get it in a timely manner and we're not waiting too long. This is bought off a government bid list, so we don't have to worry about getting multiple quotes. And it's a government price, so we feel like we're getting a good deal.
All right, I move that the board approve the contract with Polaris Sales Inc. for the purchase of a Ranger Crew XP 1000 Premium with QTAC Fire and Rescue Skid for the amount not to exceed $51,621.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Do you send a mic or do I send it?
I have to sign a copy of.
yes, so we can send that off tomorrow.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rick.
Okay, now we have Mr. McKay.
I'm a little disappointed. I thought they were there for
The
that.
municipal moment.
Put those right at the top.
So we'll start with the municipal moment, the transfer station. I think you've all heard me talk about the municipal station for over 20+ years now. And I think the transfer station is one of the best services that the town offers. We've tried to price it right, but it's still not a free service. We're paying for 62 and under, 62 and over, we're paying $35 for the permit to enter the station. Under that, it's $95. And then when you get in there, we have to buy, you pay for the plastic bags that you buy at Roach Brothers and a couple of other stores that actually pay really for your trash in, it goes in the hopper. And that helps us to offset the cost because the 90 and the $35 does not pay for half of what we, what services are there at the transfer station. Over the years, the transfer station, when I first got here, the transfer station, when I first moved to Millis, it was open, I think it was 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And then it was cut down when, one of the first overrides and budget cuts, it was cut down to two days a week, and actually it was only 1.5 day a week. It was open a half a day on Wednesday and a full day on Saturday. Through the different select boards, we've increased those hours to open 2 days, 2 full days, Wednesday and Saturday. The big thing is starting June 1st, we'll be back open to 6:45 for people that, work and, during the summer, if they want to get rid of their trash before they go away. It's open till 6:45.
On Wednesdays?
On Wednesdays, just Wednesdays only.
I'm learning here for
Yes.
So
myself.
what are the hours?
So Wednesday, it's open from 8:30 in the morning till we close at 11 for the person to eat lunch and clean up. It reopens at 12 and it's open till 6:45 now, starting June 1st. And the same on Saturday, except it closes at 4 o'clock.
Okay.
Both Wednesday and Saturdays. We've seen a large increase of people can't get rid of any box springs, mattresses, TVs, couches, all that stuff. We accept all that for a nominal fee. Each one of those is $25 a piece. And anything I'm speaking of, if anybody wants to look it up, they go to millis.gov, pull up the DPW webpage, and right there in the transfer station, it lists everything that we take. Another great source that we have as being part of it, and this is through all Millis residents, through the Board of Health. There's a form that if you want to get rid of paints, oils, gasoline, all that stuff during the months of, I believe it's May through September. We have an association with the Norfolk Transfer Station. The applications must be gotten at the Board of Health, and there's a fee when you bring it there. It's half a car is $35, and a full car load of whatever you bring is $75. And that you have to bring that to the Norfolk Transfer Station. So that's open to all Millis residents. The big thing, again, back to our own transfer station, over the years, we've upgraded it many different ways. Economically, we used to have an 18-wheeler that used to pull the 18-wheeler. It was a big, huge Mack truck that pulled it. And as the cost was, we were looking at if we were going to upgrade it or just get rid of the transfer station. And if I think of people that go in there now, you can see that we utilize 2 compactors now, one for trash and one for cardboard. I did apply for a grant and we should be hearing, hopefully very shortly to buy another compactor because all that is much more accessible. For especially elderly people, our largest group of people, we have over 60+% are over the age of 62 years old. So that's why I say it's a service, to the, us aging people that live in Millis, and it's a good break. So the transfer station's there. It's located on Environmental Drive. If everybody knows where the DPW garage is, it's located, if you follow that bumpy road all the way to the end, that's where you get to the transfer station. You have seen many political people standing outside of the fence that are not allowed to come in inside. to solicit votes or anything else like that, but usually on Wednesdays, Saturdays, usually when there's a multiple candidate people running, you can always find somebody that's gonna stand out there. I know Ellen was one of them, Kathy was one, Laurie was another one that used to stand out there every
So
Wednesday
is there once?
and Saturday. Yeah. So that's the transfer station. We are, you know, we had a talk with the town administrator, we're gonna keep the rates. Most of the people know that they received, the transfer station new permit stickers are on sale now and that goes from July 1st through June 30th. There was a little glitch that I went up to the printer and I just said, oh, just send them as soon as you can, and he literally sent them like the next day. We sent them out like a little month earlier than we usually send them out, but people have responded, and we've seen the group rising. I think we used to have like 385 families in there, now we're up to 450, 460 families. Because I think people are moving from other communities. They all have a transfer station and they all, the biggest group that was shockingly was people from Glen Ellen. You wouldn't believe how many people actually come and buy the transfer station from Glen Ellen. And you would think they do have trash pickup, they have bins to throw the stuff. But if you look at all, the reason I'm getting is that they have one barrel, and then once it's full, they want to have another way to get rid of their trash. They want to hold it in their garage. So I hope it's here for a long time. And that's the transfer station.
I mean, honestly, it's a deal because even trying to get rid of a mattress, like independently,
Yep.
I mean, the cost of the $90 plus the 25 is still probably
Cheaper
the
than-
same or cheaper to just get rid of a mattress. So it's a
I
great
did,
deal.
I forgot one sentence, I did talk to the town administrator this year, usually we have a hearing, a rate hearing for that, and we're looking at maybe in January to look at, we're searching out what the costs are, other towns, how they price their stuff. Because we do have to go up in the
Yeah.
box springs, because it's costing us more to get rid of it than what we're actually bringing in, and that's not fair to, Millis residents, because it's not self-funding, it's not a self-supporting, effort. So we will be back in January, and hopefully we'll have a different view for you to look at. And most of the money is made on the bags. I mean, even if you go up 10 cents on a bag, that brings in a lot more volume, and that's something, we'll look at and come back to you in January.
Yeah, I've been going since I moved here, and I have yet to purchase a bicycle for my child. We used to bring 3 home from the dump, build one, and then take the other two back. It's a good way to learn how to build a bike. Yeah.
So let me ask you something.
Yes.
Cause I wasn't allowed in because I was
Yeah.
holding a sign
Yeah.
3 years ago. Do you take everything? I mean, refrigerators, pouches?
So there's a list, and we
There's a
do not take anything that Freon in it. And actually, we've been taking them and putting them on the side because, remember Paul that used to work here? He used to empty the Freon for us, and then it turns into steel. So we do, if somebody is really stuck, we don't like taking air conditioners, but there is a list.
There's
telling you
always-
what you-
Yeah.
But. Yeah, that's.
There is a-
And it's on, you can find it, give
Right.
me 2 seconds to find it on the website.
And what
So,
about, so I think somebody asked me this, I might be making it up, compost.
We don't do that either.
Okay.
Because, we have to remember, in the area where you see the leaves and everything else, Millis and Medway, they use that to where they bury the animals that are picked up. And if you do something like that, there's a lot more animal.
Okay,
And
that's interesting.
Yeah.
if somebody takes a ride, we have, what do they call cats? If people say.
Feral cats,
Feral
yeah.
Feral
cats, you can
cats.
see there, but people have to understand. They are maintained, they're fed, they're vetted, and they're probably better. I've never seen,
Healthier.
this is not a lie, I've never seen a mouse or a rat at that transfer station.
No.
Because they do their
Yes.
job, and they're probably for free food that are taken care of.
And please don't feed them. They
Please don't.
Yeah,
feed them and takes care of them. It all works.
They're working
Beyond
cats.
Yes.
Yeah. If their little orange, their little vest on with the Dago stripe.
We do, and the biggest thing that, what people also want to understand is, in the transfer station, we recycle the leaves that come in, and there's free compost. piles that are in the back, and that's all free.
Yep.
There's no charge for bringing your leaves, tree stumps, if you, God forbid, there's ever a hurricane, and you cut a tree up, you all bring that there, and that doesn't cost. That's all part of your permit sticker for us.
And it's all listed.
Yep.
So, yeah, we even talked about that, so.
But don't you have to pay to get rid of those stumps, or you just let them
Well,
compost in 1,000 years?
They sit there for at least a year and a half, and then we bring the tub grinder in and bring it.
Okay.
Does anybody else have any questions?
Okay.
Thank you, Scott, before the meeting, I'd like to say thanks, Jim, it's very well organized down there, and I think it is, it's an asset to the town, so at some point, hopefully with the town running, with the funding, we get it open more. And if we had to staff it more, but I think the staff does a good job down there. We work really hard, it's well organized, a far cry from the landfill days. It's much nicer, thank you.
On the hazardous waste, because I got stuff to get rid of.
Yep.
I got my brother-in-law to take it last time up in
Yeah.
Gloucester, where they have hazardous waste days, but, just pick it up at the,
It's
Board of Health.
actually online.
Board of Health, and
Okay.
it's also online.
and every weekend in Norfolk from May to September.
There's a list of days.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, and it's great.
I don't feel
Awesome.
like I need to call my brother-in-law to take it next
If you
time.
have latex paint, best thing,
Yeah.
latex paint can now be thrown in trash.
Yeah.
All you do is open the can up, you let it dry out,
Yep.
you put kitty glitter in there,
Yeah.
put the best on, as long as it doesn't leak.
Yeah.
We don't encourage that, but you can get rid of latex.
Yeah,
Okay,
All right,
any other
Okay.
questions?
that's good.
Thank you, Jim.
thank you.
All right, and you're up next
Moving right
then.
on.
Yes.
So here's the
Yeah.
Christmas list and, who made it to the paving list?
Oh,
So there's a bunch of contracts that I would ask that you approve. I'll give you a little background. The MAPC, they procure all these contracts, and then I've sent them off to our town council. They reviewed them, and some of them are extensions from years gone by that have been approved. So this year we're looking for crack sealing, pavement markings, tree services, and hopefully this.
Yeah. Crack sealing, peer mark, tree services, and roadway management
Catch basin and.
and catch basin, yeah.
Yes. So that's all of them, and again, these all come from the MAPC, we're in a large consortium. From many different municipalities. And it helps us out that we don't have to put any of this else to do. So if you could, you know what? When we get to the road pavements,
That's
Right,
the
yeah.
first one,
if you do that first, that's all right. Cause I'd like to give you the list, I want you to vote on the list of, roads.
Is that the $700,000 item?
Yes,
Okay, I'll make a motion on that. I move that board approve and authorize the town administrator to sign a yearly contract bid through the MAPC for roadway management with J.H. Lynch and Sons for the amount not to exceed $700,000 through December 31st, 2025.
so, and then I would add, thank you. Give it a vote.
There's a lot of people looking at you.
Oh, second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye.
Hi, well, discussion.
Thank you. So in that list, I would ask you, you've looked at this, I came to you before.
Yep.
And I gave you the list. The first name, I'm in front of the Conservation Commission, David's downstairs right now with the conservation to get the approval. Main Street, I would like you to vote on that and that we're accepting. This is coming from the state, they're paying for it. There's not a motion for it, so if you just approve it, I think it's all set. We finally got the word that they're gonna come in starting on May 27th. And they're gonna start at midnight, 10 to 6, but we'll get better information on camera. We'll make sure we get that on the
Yeah.
website and put signboards up. But they did tell us they're coming May 27th. And again, the sections that we're paving from the Medway Town Line to past Concam Pass, all the way to the last section that we did there.
New Tractor Supply.
Tractor Supply, exactly. And then they'll pick up again at Hammond Lane and go all the way right through, Hockey's past all that, go right up to the police station. And then they'll pick up on Milliston Road and go all the way to the Medfield Town Line.
Nice.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Wow.
Yeah.
They estimate this at costing $1.87 million. The the state. And in that, they're paying for all the police details, they're paying for all the, structures, catch basin, manholes, they're paying for all of that, and they'll rebuild all of them. So that's a big thing. The next section would be Orchard Street. And that will be done from Middlesex Street to the Stone Arch Bridge. There's a little section, if you go to the bridge, that when the Toll Brothers, they only did the gas trench that they
Yeah.
did. Next would be Myrtle Street, but from Himmelfarb Street to Pleasant Street, including the little rotary that's right there at the end of Myrtle Street. Park Road, two sections, Park Road, the section as you drive over when the school project ended, here and here. I don't know why they have left 300 feet in there, but not even that much. So that one section, and we're gonna find the top coat binder and top coat in between the tennis court and the pond. Next is Milliston Road, and that will be from right up to the circle there to Main Street. Paula Drive from Union Street to including Clark Road. And then Clark Road, when you drive down Paula Drive, and then Clark Road goes off this way, and it has two cul-de-sacs in it.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be done too. So I usually ask for you to approve this. So when somebody says, why wasn't my road approved, then I can blame you.
Okay. Do you wanna make a motion?
Under your chairperson, too. I'm just saying.
Take credit for Main Street, that's enough. I move that we approve the list for the FY 26 paving as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And then the rest, I mean, they're just regular standard contracts. Crack sealing is the biggest way to maintain roads. You know, someone here at the table doesn't agree.
Is that the name of the company you were supposed to give me a month
Yes,
ago?
And I gave it to you, and I said, right, my phone.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
And us. So crack sealing, you see, most of the roads that we even did in the last year or two, you can see a lot of cracks in them. That's because there was one of the worst winters with the frost getting underneath the road, lift them, but if we don't go out and take care of them today, tomorrow you're gonna have an issue with them. That's gonna be right back to where we were. And the other ones are just catch basin cleaning. So on, so on.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna deviate from the printed motion and try to do this all as one.
Oh, is that okay? You sure?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. no,
I move that,
it's good.
yeah, I move that the board approve and authorize the town administrator to sign the yearly contract bid for VMAPC as follows, for crack sealing not to exceed 30, as detailed in the package, crack sealing not to exceed $30,000, pavement markings not to exceed $30,000, tree services not to exceed $25,000, roadway management, that's 700,000 we did already. And the catch basin cleaning, not to exceed $48,160.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. And just with the 5 kids that we just hired, every one of them come from Millis High School.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very excited about that. It's, usually we get most of the kids from there, but this is the first time we've been interest of 5 kids.
Excellent.
So it's kind of
Very
awesome.
exciting.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have,
Another gym.
another gym for some more contracts, printers, copiers, and phones.
Hello.
Hello?
So this is for the, Jim Donovan, IT Director. So this is for the contracts for our new phone system. We already have VoIP phones, this is just changing the company. So on this one specifically, it's now come under my budget. It was separated out by buildings before, so now we combined them all and brought them into mine. I worked with the schools on this one and the other printer contract as well to coordinate our efforts. Basically, I took lead on the phones and they took lead on the printers, copiers. So on the phones themselves, the previous, we were spending around 24,000 a year for phones, for the phone system, and then another 3,000 for our Zoom licensing. We are moving to Zoom phones, so that is combining those two, but even with that, the cost will be down to 16. So about 10,000 a year savings on that service. And then for the copiers, again, I worked with the schools on this. They took lead on the copier project and decided on the company, and I just, gave them what we needed from that contract. And that's where the next 2 contracts come in. One is for the monthly servicing of the printers and the other is for the leasing of the devices.
What's a Zoom phone?
So it's just the same, so phone system like VoIP is just a,
Voice over IP.
yeah, voice.
I translate.
That explains it.
So it's
Internet
basically
phone.
just a phone system, just like we normally have. You have a phone on your desk, you pick it up, you answer it. It's just who is providing that, kind of like Comcast or Verizon, just who is providing that service. We had a different company
Zoom.
before,
Zoom.
and now we're switching over to Zoom,
Again.
who handles phones as well. But they also
I've used
obviously handle meetings. So we were paying separately for those two things. Again, about 3,000 for the Zoom, and then 24,000 for the phones previously. With those combining, it's down to 16 for both.
So is there any residual value to what we have, or do you just throw them away at the transfer station, which I understand is open now?
It costs money.
Days a week.
Nope, all the phones are just transferred over, so it's like
Oh.
taking your phone to a different, your cell phone to a different carrier. It's just you turn it off, you turn it back on, and now it's a Zoom phone compared to
Yeah.
the previous company.
So we're keeping the
There you
hard
go.
phone.
I do have to buy
No new
some
phone.
phones, for the library, who's on the older style phones. Where they have like a physical phone with a regular phone line instead of a network line. So I will have to buy some phones for them, but it's very limited. I think I'm at 12 phones I have to purchase instead of the 70 or whatever from the rest of the buildings. And then same thing for the school, they will be utilizing their same phones as well.
Okay, I move that the board approve and authorize the town administrator to sign the. No, yeah, the same basic motion, sign the yearly contract bids to the MAPC for, no, these are different, I'm sorry. I move that the board approve and authorize the town administrator to sign a 3-year contract with SHI for the Zoom phones. Not to exceed $48,382.98. Round that up. I move that the board approve, I also authorize the board, wait, I'm gonna do them all three. I also authorize.
Three for over here.
I am. I also authorize, a move that the board authorize the town administrator to sign an agreement for managed print services not to exceed $334.88 per month for a total of 36 months. And I further move that the board authorize the town administrator sign an agreement for multifunctional printers through Sharp Electronics, not to exceed $988 and a monthly lease of $988.89 for 36 months.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I thought that top part was repeated for each of the ones below it.
Did good.
Yeah.
Okay, next we have the approval of a contract for an animal control truck.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In your packet, you'll see a purchase and sales agreement. That was provided by the Aaron Millette, the animal control officer. This is the new HCO vehicle that we've discussed for some time, was recently approved at town meeting. Of which Medway will be paying a portion of this. Just as a quick aside, you will see during the month of June an intermunicipal agreement that I'm currently in discussions with the town administrator over in Medway. So you'll see a proposed intermunicipal agreement, one of your meetings in June, that will cover Medway's portions of this vehicle. So this evening, I'm recommending that the board approve the purchase and sales agreement for a 2025 Ford F-150 police responder for use by the Animal Control Department for an amount not to exceed $72,283.
So moved.
Second.
Speeding it up even more.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Next.
Okay, next we have to consider host community agreement waiver request with Comcan Incorporated.
Madam Chair, in your packet, is a host community agreement waiver form. As part of the rules, state regulations surrounding host community agreements of cannabis facilities. The town has the option to either have a host community agreement or to waive that requirement. As you know, the Cannabis Control Commission has changed a lot of their rules and regulations over the past couple of years. I've had extensive conversations with town council regarding this item. And with the current 5-year host community agreement with Comcan coming to an end, in my discussions with town council, there's no pressing reason to continue with a host community agreement. And therefore, for your consideration this evening is a waiver of an HCA for the board to discuss and make a determination on whether or not you want to waive that requirement.
Okay, so I'm recusing myself from the board, obviously, for this, but I wanted to say a couple of things. First of all, I wanna thank the town for taking a chance on Comcan a million years ago, it seems, but it wasn't that long ago, a little over, maybe closer to 6 years ago, but we negotiated a host community agreement with the town, and at that time, the standard agreement was 3% of gross sales for both of my licenses, so that would be for the rec adult use license and the medical license. So I made a payment, Comcan made a payment for 5 years, beginning in 2019. For one of the licenses and beginning a little bit later for the adult use license, not that much later. And the agreement was for 5 years. Those were the standard agreements back when host community agreements meant something. So we made payments for the entirety of 5 years. I've said this at several meetings. The host community agreements went away a little over 3 years ago because towns got greedy and didn't supply people like me, companies that gave the 3%. So we would just send a check to the town every quarter for 3% of sales. Carol, the finance director, would come to my office and sit with Debbie, my accountant, bookkeeper, and go over the numbers. They were always perfect. And we would just send the check. A little over 3 years ago, the very first dispensary person, somebody like me, sued the town they were in. It was Uxbridge, and it was Caroline's Cannabis, who I happen to know. And she sued them because they didn't give her any accounting any year. She would just send her check, and she was entitled to an accounting. I received an accounting from the town of Millis way before I became a select board member, because it was the right thing to do. And it was something that I was supposed to provide to the CCC, which is the Cannabis Control Commission. That's the regulatory agency. I was supposed to provide them with this accounting every year when I renewed my licenses. And I did. And the town of Millis would give me this spreadsheet that was just incredible. Every line item for every penny that was spent. And I've said this a number of times. People in Millis complained about the fact that Millis put it in their budget. But they had to put it in their budget if they wanted to be compliant with what the HCA was supposed to do. And the HCA was supposed to pay for impacts to the town by Comcan. For instance, more police presence. Maybe Comcan had big vans and they were destroying the roads, so to make the potholes. There was supposed to be a nexus between my 3% payments and what the town was spending the money on. Millis is one of the only towns I know that actually tried to make that nexus. No other town did. They got greedy. They told people like me, Caroline's Cannabis, when she asked for an accounting, we don't have to give that to you, Caroline. Go pound sand. She sued, she won. She got over $1.3 million back from the town of Uxbridge. Every other cannabis company followed suit, and the money started coming back. Boston actually just smartened up and said, you know what, I'm not doing this. We're not even gonna take any money because it's too much of a pain and there is no nexus because there is no impact. But nobody knew that. Anywho, Millis tried to do what they did. I was appreciative and I paid my 3% for the entire 5 years. I am the only one I know that did that. But I did it because I wanted to do it. You took a chance on me. And it's been a great relationship and I appreciate every bit of it. And now marijuana is so normalized, nobody even cares anymore. But it was the Wild West. You took a chance and we did the right thing. And just to let you know how much money the town did get. First of all, I got the 3% from me. So under the medical license, over the 5 years, the town got $622,538. That's the medical license. On the adult use license, it got $1,457,500, $1,457,550. Now, that's 3% of adult use. Millis also opted to take 3% of the 20% sales tax. So you double that. You double the 1.457 and you add whatever, and you come to a grand total over 5 years of $3,537,638,000. So a little over $3.5 million over 5 years came to Millis from ComCan. And I'm happy to do it. Now, moving forward, Millis will continue to get, obviously, the 3% of the 20% tax. I think it's about $500,000 a year. If you guys keep buying, it'll be more, but you know. Anywho, the 5 years ended in December of 2024. I'm renewing my license and I'm asking for a waiver because number one, the host community agreements have gone away. They're gone. There's no impact, there's no money, they're gone. So the waiver is really the only option. I need to include it with my renewal. The CCC is waiting for it, and I'm here to ask you to sign the waiver. And not for nothing, but Medway, you know, I'm in Medway, that's where my cultivation is, and they signed the waiver over a year ago, because I was done with their host community agreement like a while ago.
Okay, I'll start with a few comments.
Sure.
First of all, we were fortunate to have this money coming in. It really did bail us out at a time when we desperately needed it. With the HCA's going away, thank you, Uxbridge and other towns for abusing the system. But with the HCA going away, there's really no way there's no benefit to renewing an HCA because there's no money in it. What I also understand is, since we have to show a direct nexus, it's very hard to do. Very, very hard to do that. And also, from what I understand, talking to Jay, was we would have to pay something to whatever the reason we were charging and then invoice the company.
I forgot that.
Yeah.
They changed it. It's very different now.
Yeah.
The people like me don't just send a check every quarter. The town has to bill me.
Yeah.
They have to bill me and they have to say what it is. And I can dispute it.
Yeah.
And so it's a completely different.
Yeah. So if we felt we needed more police detail on a special big sales day, and ComCan wasn't willing to provide that on their own, we could provide it, then we'd have to invoice them and then they can dispute it. And I think as a good neighbor, they would hire a detail if it was a big day. The other part, the 3% tax continues regardless, which is gonna be the $500,000 a year coming in. Yeah, to me, it just makes sense, since there's no bite we can put on this. There's no way we can get extra money out of it. We should issue the waiver.
I also see it as, you know, the business did their end of the agreement. The agreement was the host community agreement for 5 years. They followed through with that. On their end, we followed through with, you know, providing the nexus, for lack of anything else to say, to what we spent that money on. And I think we're really fortunate to get that extra 3% throughout these 5 years. So I don't see any reason to continue
Yeah, and people have asked, where did that money go? The 3% from sales tax just went into the general budget, just like any other tax, just like your property tax, or anything else, just went into general revenue that we use to run the town. As Ellen pointed out, the HCA funds, because Carol is a real stickler for detail, that went into a school resource officer, extended library hours. We had all these rationales that I thought we were stretching on, but we made them work. You know, how that somehow related to an HCA, a host community agreement. The library hours to give something for people to do.
Instead of smoking weed.
I wasn't gonna go there, but something for people to do.
Young adult program at the library.
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
And some of them were clear, like the smoke detectors in the bathroom at the school. It was a great way to do it, a smoking cessation program. It was all, some were very clear connections. Some of them we stretched, but we never stretched like Uxbridge and other towns saying the roads. You know, we had a good justifiable reason for all the money that came in. So that's where it went. The other 3% is going to continue going into all the roads or whatever else we choose to put it in. Nicole?
Nicole Riley, 258 Village Street. I don't know if you all remember, I was actually the chair of the marijuana committee when this statute first came into existence and the towns were deciding whether or not we were going to allow marijuana within the community. The one thing I just want to remind you is this was not a legislative statute. This statute came about because it was drafted by a private group of individuals. And that's one of the reasons why it took so long to get regulations, because the statute was not developed the way the legislature would have. And as a way to get towns to buy into this was saying, okay, we're gonna let you charge the businesses 3%. As a 15-year member of the planning board, I've never, and as an attorney for 33 years, I've never seen an industry anywhere, when a new industry comes in, being charged 3% of their gross income just so that they can exist. So, you know, that just as a background note, it was really just to make this law palatable to communities, because they wanted to, the private organizations that wrote the original ballot question, this was their way of getting the towns to, like I said, the communities to make it palatable. But there's never been, I think in the history of the state, have we had a new industry come in and the towns had the ability to just pick a percentage and start charging them.
Thank you, yes.
Thank you, Scott Fusey, 411 Union. I want to thank Nicole Riley and the committee, because I went to those meetings and they did an outstanding job at mapping this out, because people didn't realize, people were like, oh my God, yeah, we're gonna have this in the town. But it has reaped the benefits, and we've seen it, and we're still gonna get the 3%. We're still gonna benefit from this. So we've done a good job as a community laying this out where other communities didn't. So thank you, and it's gonna be a good thing, and we're getting, look, 109's gonna get paid. Thank God.
I'm gonna believe 109 when I see it. I'm gonna make a motion. I move that the board approve the host community agreement waiver form for ComCan as written.
Second, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to say one thing. I do not believe the towns would have let this. I agree with you, Nicole. People thought it was unconstitutional.
Right.
But I don't think we'd be where we are without that.
Yeah.
I really don't. Yeah, but that's worth 3%.
Yeah, it is worth 3%. $1.4 million, I believe is what you said, yeah. Yeah,
All right.
we're putting alcohol right next. Look at that.
We're going into alcohol.
Yep, a review and approval of a one-day all alcohol license for Barstow Fish and Game Club.
This is another quick one. This is a one day, again, as the local licensing authorities, you have the ability to approve a one day alcohol license. This is, the applicant is Nathan Maltinsky, and it's for the Barstow Fish and Game Club for a turkey shoot fundraiser, which is actually to raise money for the fireworks for the carnival. So
Oh,
this is a
cool.
nonprofit. But it is hosted specifically by the Foxborough Fishing Game. And it's on May 31st from 3:30 to 7 PM, and they are looking for an all alcohol license for the day.
I move that not yet, I move that the board approve a one-day all alcohol license application from Nate Maltinsky for a turkey shoot fundraiser to be held on May 31st, 2025, from 3:30 until 7.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. All right, next we have board and committee liaison updates.
I attended town meeting.
That does not count.
What do you have?
I do, I have one, but I already said it. I zoomed in on the school building committee,
Okay,
but I already talked about it.
I went to cemetery committee.
Oh,
My
Everybody's
favorite.
how fun was it?
It was so fun.
Oh,
You always learn things at the
I'm gonna
cemetery.
restructure and get on that committee. I have yet to be on
It's
it.
good. It's really good. So, they put in a staircase that is gorgeous.
sorry.
On the way from section G-ish to go down towards the bottom there. It's a newer section, but it looks great. And they talked about, getting ready for Memorial Day and what things might need to be cleaned up and stuff like that. So it was a nice evening, nice meeting. But that's all I had. So next,
So there are no water and sewer commitments. This is just a placeholder, but there weren't any for this meeting.
all right, then we have review of draft minutes.
I move the board approve the draft minutes for 4/8, 4/7, and 5/5/2025 as written.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. And
I move the board enter executive session for the following reason: to discuss deployment of security devices, police, and to discuss strategies with respect to collective bargaining if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect to government's bargaining positions, SEIU, and to return to regular session for the sole purpose of adjourning the meeting.
Second.
it's been moved and seconded. I'll pull the board. Craig,
Yes.
Ellen,
Yes.
and yes, thank
Yes.
you. So thank you, everybody, and thank you,
Thank you.
Millis Community Media. Have a
Thanks,
good night.
Scott.
Thanks, Scott.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you. Oh, that was.